Right, so I have prepared some poles for the 160 metre. I've painted the top of this white pole, which was yellow. It transitions from black to white, because when I put it over there, the idea being it's a 6 metre pole. It's kind of black at the bottom and white at the top. On the top of that pole is going this. So this was black as well. It is extremely light. It's a windsurfing mast, very old. So that's going to be up at 10 metres. We need to fit the scaffold pole inside here though, because this will, from experience, slip over. All right. Now, because I have coated this in paint, this white pole here, I think we'll grind it down a little bit and then ram it in and see what happens. So this one is for the Yagi when we finally build that. So let me get that out of the way. I'll show you what I mean. I didn't have matte black, so I just used black. But I know for a fact, because I tried this earlier on, that is, now that it's got, you know, paint on it and everything, that's not going to ram up that hole there. So I've got this kind of grindery paddy thing. Then we'll clean out the inside. It should just fit. Oh blimey, yeah, just. I think we'll grind a little bit more away and then we'll give it a good ramming. Whatever the expression is. Don't confuse this with WD-40, it's silicone. I just thought, you know, it'd be quite a good lubricant. So I'm going to offer, got stuff all over this. So I'll offer one pole up to the other, and then we'll literally find a really heavy fence post and we'll ram it. We'll literally ram it. I'm not looking for a big overlap, you know, just a little bit. Okay. Okay. Actually, to be on the safe side, I'm going to go inside, boil a hot kettle. You know, so just expand one tube, because everything's a bit chilly this morning. Right, so we should probably move this up here. All right, we'll never get that off. Good. All right, there's a 10-metre mast. If you ever wanted to build yourself a big mast, solid, look at that. Somehow we've got to fit that to one of these fence posts. Flash over it with a bit more paint, because once it's up in the air, we won't be able to do that. I think I'll have to dry it off. We shall use my t-shirt for that. I did use my t-shirt, but I didn't want to bare my stomach for you. I don't want to put people off, you know. So this is a gentleman's handkerchief. Because white reflects the sky, you see. You would think like a matte grey would be better, but a matte grey actually looks black. Made that mistake once before. So that'll be the centre. This one here, which is about 120 mil, 6-inch diameter post. I think we'll bring the level out though. I don't want to fit it cockeyed, you know. But the thing is, I can't put it directly on this. I'll have to stand it off with some rubbers, you know, because they've put this this stuff on. But I mean, maybe I should be all right. I don't know. I just, hell, just put one there, one at the bottom. Big bolts, massive penny washers on the top, and just a no more. That's, I think, the trick. All right. So let's think about this. We need a dipole now. Assuming this works, I'm going to bolt it to a fence over there. So what are we going to need? Some sort of dipole sensor, some coax, some wire, which I'm going to cut at for, I don't know, 38 meters, I think. 37.5, there we go. And then, because this is going to be a horseshoe, we're going to fit some in the corners. We'll fit some more, which I prepared last night. Now these are also windsurfing sailboard type masts, and years ago I painted them this colour. It's a kind of a camo, and that was for my backyard, my garden. It worked really well. So what I've done is I just went over the tops, so we transition from camo to white. And I'd forgotten, because this used to have my loop, 40 metre loop on it, and we've already got these glued in the top. So I'm thinking of just putting the wire straight through and letting, you know, the tension just hold it all together. I suppose the question is what wire. DX50 is quite expensive, but it's nice. Over there, that'll be 10 meters, and then each side we're coming down to 5, and then as it comes down here we'll find a bit of paracord in a tree or whatever to put the tail on. So it's kind of a big U. I call it a horseshoe. Whatever. I've got to say, I was actually a bit worried that ramming that fiberglass pole inside the other one wasn't going to work, because once I got it so far it would have been stuck, you know, even like 50 mil, 2 inches. But anyway, I think you'd agree it's got about 120 millimeters, about 6 inches of overlap. It's quite a light pole. It'll be fine. Alright, so we need to cut this wire. So 300 speed of light divided by, we'll go for 1.9 megahertz to start with. So the wavelength is 157. Each element, therefore, is not going to be 39.47. We're using PVC wire times point, I don't know, I'm going to plumb at 93. So there's 36 meters. 30, call it 37. I'm also quite low to the ground. I reckon this is going to end up about 35. Let's cut, we'll cut 37 and a 2 meter foldback. They'll give us some adjustments. So 37, call it 38, right? 38, and I get 4 clicks to the meter out there, which is 152 clicks. Now we will convert this into 160 fan at some point in time. For the time being, let's make it 160. All right, I've got a little homebrew toy here that we made a few years ago. I hope it doesn't ever break, because I don't think I'll be bothered rebuilding it, to be honest. We were on 160, 260, 320. Right, 160. Lockie normally does this. It's not my job. I just got to remember this is one day got to be 80 as well. And that's why I made these 25 long, because we got to come back. All right. So this is a Kevlar cord wire. It's well, I've got Kevlar in it. Oh. 25. You know when your heart's not in something? And today I've just had enough. I've been digging holes. Oh, bloody hell, move down to there. As soon as the glue melts, there we are, we're done. So I'm just using this as a... Ow. We'll just put that there. It's just a bit of support. Then we need a couple of these. Because that has got to come back to there. Have we got space to put two of these on? And come back. Just, yes. You could say, why didn't you just put a long one on there, Callum? And to be honest, I don't know why. I always do it in sections. I don't know why, I really don't. I just feel there's kind of more tolerance or something, I don't know. Don't want to melt the bloody thing completely. Good. And that will come to there. Lovely. There's 100 different ways of skinning a cat. I could have used a bit of paracord and some cable ties. I know. I happen to have these. We sell these little dipole centery things. And you can probably see that there. It's like a braid, and inside we've got this sort of Kevlar stuff. Now I'm going to fold this over just to make a little bit more surface area for the fork. You could use a round. I've got forks in stock, so I'm using a fork. Glue line heat shrink, just in case I haven't told you. It's going to be hot. If we keep the oxygen out, you know, it won't... Should we use another washer, do you think, on top? Oh, we'll see. Let's do this one now while it's cooling off. And I need to find a tiny bit of sacrificial coax because the Balun, the choke I've got, is unfortunately coax to coax. I can't be bothered rebuilding it. So we'll get a tiny bit of coax. I've got old patch leads and stuff, we'll just use that. And I'll show you what I mean in a minute. Now Colin, he's got my big ATU, the AT4K at the moment. I was thinking when I get it back, because it's kind of, I mean, I've told him he can keep it for as long as he wants, until I need it. And by the way, the only reason I want it back is I'm trying to find someone at the Droitwich transmitting station, which has a pair of 800 feet, very high, 800 feet towers, and this enormous doublet basically between them. And then they've got this kind of 1 foot diameter coax, a pair of them. It's a balanced feeder back to the transmission room. And I thought, if I could, before they dismantle it, wouldn't it be great to go down there with an ACOM 2000, the AT4K, and wind up the Droitwich Towers one evening on 40 metres or even 160. I mean, you would get to the bloody moon that way. Just be fun, wouldn't it? We will need to tighten these up properly there. So we can, I've bent these up so we can put like cable ties, because that will go on the post, yeah? And then we've got this massive choke that I've also got to fit on there as well, thinking about it. So maybe we could rotate these upside down. I've got 18 turns of air cell 5 on one FT240 43, or a pair. I think it's a pair. And that will give us 8K between 3 and 8 megahertz. So we'll probably get about 4K on top band, which will be fine. So we will probably bolt this somehow to the top of the pole. Then we need a little sort of flying lead from here. I don't want to re-engineer all this up to here. So let's find an old patch lead that we can do that with. I've got various odds and sods here. You know, I just want one with a PL259 on the end, ideally. So I can't be bothered to. There must be one in here somewhere. Oh, that's sore. My old thumb. No, nothing has got 259. Ah, wait a minute, what's this? Ah, it's 75 ohm. Oh, could work. I had 1 million patch leads recently. I don't know what I've put them all. I still don't know what I've done with them all. Ah, we'll have to make something. Hell. Alright, well this is 75 ohm. It's actually a quarter wave matching section for a vertically polarised delta loop. But I haven't got time to faff around, so we will carve it up and use a bit of this. About a foot, about just over 30 centimetres. That will give us plenty. So that's kind of scrap-ish. Alright, so we've got the Balun. I use this 75 ohm. I've got a big piece of heat shrink ready here to cover all this mess. And I'm going to heat shrink that like that. I'll get that on the go and we'll leave. Oh no, hang on a minute. In fact, we'll only heat shrink it at the end of this, thinking about it. So that needs to bend this way and then that way. We cut this off and we'll put a fork on it. It's all getting a bit messy here. So I've carved a bit of this away so I can get some heat shrink on this one. How long can I get it down there? I have to carve more of this plastic away. God, it's really... Mind you, I know where this came from and it would be very good. It's a friend of mine called Barry. He made this for me when I wanted to put up a vertical delta loop and I hadn't a blooming clue what I was doing. Hopefully it's a 3-to-1 and then we can, with the glue lined heat shrink, that should be absolutely fine. nice to get this up for tonight, because then I can have a little play, you know, otherwise I've got to be here tomorrow as well. What have I done? We'll put self-amalgamating tape there, and I think I'll have to do it here as well. And these will fit, one there and one there, look. And then we'll bolt that to the mast somehow. These are very hot at the moment. Mike was up at the weekend and he put a ton of, we put 13 connectors on, there we are, on some, this is some berry flex. We've also got all the phasing harnesses there. For the 4-square. So we'll take it outside, check we've got the right length, and then we're going to make up a patch lead, which I've got actually on Air Cell 5. I'll show you in a minute. It's really, really thin stuff. It's about the same quality as a decent RG213. We need to measure how much we need, so we've got to go outside. So I suppose we've got 3 jobs today, haven't we? We've got the elements themselves, we've got the poles, and we've got the coax. Oh, and that bloody choke as well. It took me forever. Never mind. I'll cut a load of footage out, I'm sure, for that. Let's get the tape measure out. So I've definitely got enough to go from the cabinet to the base of the pole, but I haven't got enough to go all the way up it. So we'll use that Air Cell 5. I think Messi and Poloni do a 5mm as well. But we'll use that to go up. I mean, it's what I've got, you know. I just happen to have 2 connectors as well. I don't want it too long or too short. Don't pull out. So we'll come to about here. So, oh gosh, it's 10 meters, look. Oh, that's pretty good. That's what we were planning. So if I come a bit short, 9.8, and that should be perfect. That'll lift it off the ground at the bottom. All right, 9.8. Poor Django, look at him, he's over there. He's been in and out this blooming field all day. I think we should kick the ball for him. He's just like, way out this blooming field again. Django, where's your ball? Where's your ball? Where's it gone? Good boy. I think he's had enough. Alright, let's go make this coax now, mate, come on. This is it, it's really thin. You compare that to, so this is, oh no, I'm going to have to put some more self-amalgamating tape there. So that's ASL 5, and that's kind of the equivalent of RG213. There's a hell of a lot in it, but we only need 9.8 meters of this. This project is going on and on and on. You lot must be fed up with it. 9.8. Yeah, and it's not like doingy flexible stuff either. It's bloody all over the shot. It's all right for permanent installs, I guess. Low band it'd be all right. I wouldn't want to use this maybe on, you know, VHF or anything. 9.8 and a tiny bit. Put this away, or we just leave it lying around like the rest of this bloody stuff. Yeah, I mean, it's not nice coax, all right? You know, like Potaflex is a bit nicer. This is like difficult, but it'll do the job. And I just so happen, sorry, to have the correct cheap and nasty connectors for this, so it'll make life a bit easier. I have used that before. I have to clean that out then. So we do one of those. Can't even get that on. Not that one. That one. Then that. Then that. That will go on right at the end. Okay. Oh, what a shame. Oh, there is a tiny hole actually through there. Alright, so I can't remember what I'm supposed to be doing. How long has this got to be? I don't know, we can cut it, can't we? It's like miniature hardline. Right, then we shove this thing, I seem to remember, over the top. It'll go. Might get exactly the same problem on Friday, on last Saturday, on the bigger stuff, you know. I'd like to get that right over there, but it's not going, is it? We'll just rip the foil off. And then it's a case of just shoving that in there and to hell with it. Alright. Well, as Mike pointed out the other day, if you warm this up very slightly, we will now crush a little bit of foil we just shoved in. Oh, it's gone in all right. Look at that. That'll be fine. We are long enough, aren't we? I think so. Has that cooled down yet? Just. I just want to see the tip, you know. Right, you don't want to see me doing this. I've got to go next door to solder this on anyway. That'll do. Look, that's coming out again. So all that will come up here. I've got the back of the 239 somewhere, miles away. In fairness, this actually might be the wrong stuff. I don't know. Okay, that's coming up. Oh, it's solid. All right. So will that go in? Oh, yes, it will. Oh, perfect size. Well, let's screw this down now. And we'll go next door and just solder that blob on the end. I'll let you judge me there. Oh, that's all right. The other end of this. This coax, right? It's like coat hangers. Oh no, I've knocked all over his SO239s. Lockie, I'm sorry, mate. Yeah, I'd say that's okay as well. Multimeter, you know, basic test. I'm just sitting here actually, right? This is the view from Lockie's window. He gets a better view than me. Django, we're on the move again, mate. Come on. So what resistance are we getting? Oh, nothing. Good. Good. Nothing. Even better. Pissing down with rain tomorrow. Monday's nice. Tuesday's nice. I don't know what to do. Do I stall this video and carry on? Well, you're not going to know, because right now we're on to the next thing. Alright, well, as you know, I wanted to turn this into a fan dipole, so that's the 80-metre legs. I haven't got any particular support there. I do see a crack in the coax here, so we've got some self-amalgamating tape. So 80 metres comes up to here, then there's 160, so it's a traditional fan dipole. And here's my feed point coming down to the balun. It doesn't matter that I've got 50mm 2 inches of 75 ohm coax there, that'll be ignored. And I've torqued these up to extremely high levels of tension. So time for a bit of self-amalgamating tape, I think. So self-amalgamating tape is just what it says, right? It's kind of like tape. It has this backing that you tear off and stick in your pocket because it'll fly around. And it's like a kind of a tar stuff, all right? And it sticks to itself. So what we're going to do is just be a little bit clever here and wrap some of these joins up. And now it's all stuck to each other. But before it self-amalgamates, you can normally tear it apart again, which I have nearly done. There we go. Now we can come around here. Good. And then I want to come down this bit. I didn't want to do one big long piece because it would be too difficult to muck with, you know. That bit's all right. Let's do here. And we'll do this bit for the time being. Now the other thing is that 160 metres this low to the ground, the chances are I'm going to have a low impedance. So 20, somewhere between 20 and 30 ohms. I'm guessing about 25. So we may have to match. I mean, we could live with it, right? But I don't really want to because it will shorten my bandwidth. But the trick out of the problem is that we've got some 75 ohm coax left over from, let me just make sure that's tight, it is, from when Mike and I, or when Mike made the phasing lines, 75 ohm phasing lines, which I haven't shown you yet, for the 40 metre 4 square. By paralleling 2 quarter wave lines, less the velocity factor, together, you could increase the equivalent of having a 1 to 2 balun. It will go from 25 effectively to 50 ohms. Well, 28 to 50 is the actual spec. You think, well, what's going to happen to 80, right? Well, interesting enough, because it's going to be a half wave on 80 metres. I mean, that's quite interesting because impedance repeats every half wave. So 80 metres won't see this coax matching section we're using for 160. I'll just repeat the coax, and then we need a little bit of probably 50 ohm coax into the switch. I don't know. So the bottom line is this: the little pigtail thing, the little 10 metre section that we cut, 9.5, whatever it was, we might not need. What we might need to do is put a T-piece on here with 75 ohm coming out, and we'll parallel them both out down to the switch. To start with, we'll start with 50 ohms, see how we get on. So I've just unwound 10 metres of this. I'll lay it at the bottom of the pole. And it's not raining, just blooming handy. Alright, how are we going to do this? We'll start off The basic cable ties keep everything roughly in place. Ow! So I've got to flip this around the other way, really, and get rid of the blood. Okay, not much to see, but we're taped on here and we've got the cable ties. The good thing is that this pole gets bigger and bigger, so if it did ever slip, we wouldn't go very far. Alright, we're at the other end now. Need to drill a hole. About there, because I'm going to use these bolts, which are a bit long, but anyway, this should be sharp. If it's not, we're in trouble. I could pilot hole it, but I think steady Eddie is the key. That's nice. It went through well. Good. I'm assuming that fits. It does. And we've got some massive washers, which we will go and get. But that fence post itself is way out. And I want this vertical, so I've got a ton of washers I can pad it out with. So alright, we're getting on with. Coax. Oh, there it is. Ooh. This may seem petty, but I'm going to need to grind that rim down a tiny bit because it won't go all the way into it. It's a very small SO239. So let's go and do that. You know, I'm often tempted to cut a corner, but you know, I don't want the amplifier freaking out when it loses conductivity for a split second, you know. So I've got to be careful not to grind the actual pin. I'll do this on the floor because then it... Hang on, well, let me do this. That'll do. Right, my coax is now all jumbled up because it's that doingy, springy, stuffy. Oh, wrong end. Good. So, you know, right on there. I just pinched this out of Lockie's workshop. So chances are this is going to have to come off, which is a nightmare. But there's a trick I've just remembered. Put black tape on first, black electrical tape, and then put the self-amalgamating over the top, and it comes off a lot easier. I'm convinced this has got to come off, and we'll have to T-piece some 75 ohm on this. Never mind. I just don't want the coax going all over the shot, if you know what I mean. I'm now worried I've drilled the holes in the wrong place. I might have to move the balun a little bit. Honestly, it's best if I twist that around because this should now be sitting up here. I didn't think of that when I did the holes. Let me quickly twist that round. A bit at a time. Lovely. This is just to apply a little bit of stick, you know. So I'm just doing a check on myself. I've got the bolts ready, the holes drilled. I don't have the holes in the wood, so that's going to be a problem. So what we'll do is I'll get a drill bit ready. We'll do the first one. Yeah, we'll have to do a test fit, drill some pilot holes, then we can get the big bolts in. Okay. This is far too big a hole, really. I need another drill bit. Right, that works. We've got a ton of washers as well, you see, to put it in place. Not quite sure if we need the washers here, but anyway. Yeah, that's fine. It was just the chuck slipping on the X. Out you come. So I don't crush it too much. Right, camera rolling. I wonder if I should give you a wide shot. So 10 meters, I think, is 33 feet. Something like that. So let's just get it up and chill out about it all. I don't want to stand on my wires. Which I'm already doing. Alright, you stay there. I'm just putting a ton of washers on. I know it takes a lot to pad this out. I'm guessing about that much. Right, you stay there. Get my gun. Need a washer on the outside. It's okay. I've got experience now. I know what I'm doing. Washer. Oh. This is wingly wangly, I tell you. In you go. In. Stay there. I can hear a police car going off. Hopefully this bottom one is roughly in the right place. But that is up 10 metres and it's approximately level. Doesn't look 10 metres. Funny, isn't it? But it definitely is. I may have complained before about this Pocket 2. I've literally got a power bank attached to it to keep it going. Alright, so tomorrow then, all I need to do is put another smaller pole down there somewhere and the same over there, and then we can get this thing tuned up. Let me put the level on it. I'm interested to know if I did actually make it straight. Okay, so I could take a couple of washers off if I had to, and this way, I mean, it's nothing in it, but at least it's falling this way slightly. I didn't want it going that way. Then we apply a bit of tension on around the outside. This will come in about another 4 or 5 inches, which means we could take a couple off, but that was quite easy to do. Right, spare washer. Right, well, I'll do one of those clock wipes now, and I'll see you tomorrow. It is the next day, so we will, that much, bit of tape, and create a loop. And I have some 3mm mast strand, which we'll use as the end of the element. Our guying point thing. We will replace this possibly with an eyelet, some sort of thimble, possibly some heat shrink, but right now let's just get it approximately with some black tape here. There's some quite strong winds today, and interesting enough that big pole's hardly moving around, which is fairly handy. In other words, it's not catching the wind, you know. Little bow line. By the way, if you don't practice knots, you'll never be able to tie them. It's the way it is. Now I have created, halfway down the pole, a little kind of loop thing. So we'll just pull that and let it hang. And retrieve 160. So I just hung here for a bit. Well, I found some, I don't think this is stainless. And they've got one of those funny ends on, so we can't use a proper impact driver. I have to use this pathetic little thing. And we definitely need roughly that many washers. I've made a bit of a cock up, so that should be, let's pull, this is the 160, let me pull this back out, rethread it. That's got to be that way. Otherwise, a little twist at the top. So this is, I actually thought this was stainless, but I've looked carefully, it's definitely just galvanised. But you know, hey, it's not a big deal. It'd just be nice for it to be stainless, you know. So I'm lifting this one up a bit, and if you can't see, it's tough. If I can just put that in there. Yes, I can. Whee! Handy. Right, where's 80 gone? There it is. Ah, I think we should cut that spare piece off. It looks horrible. Well, they're not the cutters I wanted, but they'll have to do. Aha! Cutters. So it's not designed for this, but this chuck's so big it just fits, which is going to be really handy. Instead of using this, you know, little thing. I pressed the record button, but nothing happened. But anyway, it's not major. I've just put this up. Oh, is that a 380? No, it's 4-engine, but I think it looks a bit too small for a 380. The 380s have got a deeper rumble. Well, let's just walk away, see what this thing looks like behind me. Okay, fine. Alright, in which case we can now. I've found some old cleats that I used on my Delta Loop years ago. You know, these things. I don't know where we're going to fit it, that's all. I mean, it'd be nice actually on that, but these are self-tappers actually. Oh, I need the adapter now. Hang on. These are actually self-tappers. They just look just the right size, to be honest. Although I've got to get through here without hurting myself. Okay. Wait. Oh no, I've lost the end of it. I tell you, I'm dangerous. Particularly out in the field. You know, years ago I lost a 13mm spanner in the scout field actually. Hang on, this can shut, but oh, it wasn't opening. It is now. And it was about 2 summers later I actually found it. I couldn't believe it. Oh, and the sun's coming out. No, you go. I think we need a little hole. Is that the smallest? Little teeny weeny pilot hole to say go in there. Oh, I can see it there. No, I can't. Oh, Lord. Alright, we just have to wing it. If you've ever put up antennas, you will know that everything takes, to be honest, it's not twice as long, it's fucking 4 times as long. It's still a bit off, but anyway. So there's 80. Don't drop it, Callum. Oh, hey, it's going up. All right. So 80 is looking a bit messy. I don't know if you can see that, but it seems to be working. Obviously, we haven't tensioned 160 up, and we need to go over here and sort this side out now. Oh, looks straight enough from that side. Yeah, fine. I'm not joking, you know, that actually disappears, which is quite good. Now this is one side of the 160, and this is the dog walkers. It's not us, we've got our own field. And if I bring the line down here, people muck with it and everything else, so it needs to go higher. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to shove it into these bushes fairly high, and there's a tree not far away. See where it landed. Okay, there's that green one there. I can't see what it's doing. I might be able to from here, actually. Okay, well, that's out of the way of people. Django, come here. Where are you going? Come. Right, in the field. Off you go. Okay, that's fine. All right, I can make that out. All right, we'll do a little bit of tensioning and stick some coax on. So this is quite springy stuff. It's, well, very hard. Permanent install type gear. Berry Flex is called. Just trying to work out where I'm going. Alright, so we'll put this on. That's the 4 square. Don't know what that is. This is going on. Third one up from the bottom. Right, SO239. Double-ended. We need some tape or something on here, don't we? It's bound to rain. This is England. I need a little bit of tape there just to hold it out of the way. Alright, well, just a little bit of tensioning and we should be on form. A bit of tension I need on this right hand one, which we'll do now, I think. There's not much left on this. But anyway, we will take it the whole way. Yeah, okay. I mean, it's come up a little bit. Difficult to see these wires, aren't they? Okay, this is take two because take one in 80 meters was a bit too high. Okay, so I've added 1.6 meters. I've done that, gone outside, and it's cock on now at 3.8 and below for a bit. And on top band, I've got 1.938 is the best. Bandwidth quite shallow because the impedance isn't at 50 ohms, so it's starting here, not here, if you know what I mean. If I get I'll do that in the next couple of weeks. I'm busy now doing other stuff. I just wanted to get 80 and 160 in. I mean, it'll work. It's just sort of, you know, end to end is kind of 2 to 1 instead of 1.5 to 1. But as I explained, we can do that with two parallel 75 ohm lines at a quarter wave less velocity factor. That takes a 28 impedance antenna up to 50. I don't quite have a quarter of a wavelength of coax less velocity factor. I got about 90, 88, 89%, but it's enough to bring it up, if you know what I mean. And it will be ignored on 80, which is fine because right now I've got absolutely squiddly docks, if that's a new word. There. So you're going to be interested in, well, when's he going to use this? When's he going to demonstrate this? Well, you'll just have to tune into the live streams, but you know, that is the way I have made my fan dipole. That will work just as easy on 40 and 20. Obviously, you need to cut them different length. Mine was 160 and 80. 160 is blooming enormous. Mike said to me, well, why didn't you use a half-wave end fed? Hello, Mike. It's a contest station. All right? I'm not doing poter. I want every ounce, every gram out the door. Nice choke, whoosh, out we go. Right, I'll see you all soon. Enjoy your radio. I'm having a blast here. Next thing is the lightweight tower for the 10 meter beam. I'll see you then. Bye for now. All right. Have you seen intentional mistake? I'm supposed to come back from there to there. Should we just cut this off and start again? Might as well. It's only 1/2 metre. Let's do that. Do I leave the mistake in the video? That is the question.